It's that sweet, sweet time of year again when Pokemon hype is running rampant. The news is flowing. The speculation is off the charts. They just dropped that new trailer, which I thought looked fantastic. In fact, I'm so excited for new Pokemon, and I think that obviously there's nothing in this period that's gonna be as good as actually playing the new games. But this period is still so much fun because people are, getting ready to play Pokemon, and the news is trickling in, and people are thinking like, what could that mean? What could this mean? And I've been thinking that, what's gonna happen? What do these things mean? What do these little details mean? Maybe there's something I missed, and that's all well and good. And the second trailer, and I think now looking at the first trailer alongside it, that is really, really exciting, and these are looking like they're going to be really, really cool games. But that's not what I wanted to talk about specifically today. I wanted to talk more about the potential, or the reverse potential of us getting a new Eeveelution in these games. Because it's been 3 generations, and they might be done, but I've been having this idea for a while, because I really think there's a lot there that is indicating that a new one, or a new 2 even, which I'll get into, of course, are on their way. But I also think there's plenty of evidence against a new Eeveelution showing up. And the main thing I'd like to start with is talking about how the anime has been doing in Eevee Arc. And I know it's the anime, but it's still promotional content. I don't think that it's not as considered when talking about Pokemon stuff. And they've been doing an arc with Eevee, with one of the main characters. And just as a brief summary, one of the main characters, she doesn't like Pokemon. She doesn't want to deal with Pokemon. Her name is Chloe. Chloe doesn't like battling, and she thinks Pokemon are weird and strange. But eventually, they get a Eevee in the lab that is like resistant to evolving, and Chloe sets out with it, and it's a big question what the Eevee is going to evolve into, if it evolves at all. And so that's been going on, and that's been going on along the Gen 8 anime, which takes place across all the regions. And the Eevee in question has gotten multiple chances to evolve. I watch the anime as well, and it's really, really good. Highly recommend it. It's probably as good as it's ever been. I really, really love the Pokemon anime right now. But the Eevee first ran into Vaporeon. I thought the Vaporeon was really cool, but it did not evolve into it. It rejected the Water Stone when offered the chance to use it. And then it also rejected a Firestone and a Thunderstone as well. However, when it meets these Eeveelutions, which I'm not exactly sure how this detail fits in, but I still think it's worth mentioning and looking at. I don't know, maybe some of y'all have some ideas, but the Eevee is able to use the powers of the Eeveelutions that it met. When it met Vaporeon, it was able to use a water attack, and I think they described it through either copycat or mimic, those types of things, where it's able to use the moves upon seeing them. But this took a step further, even when more recently the Eevee met an Espeon and an Umbreon, both of which it did not evolve into. So the stones were out of there, and then the friendship evolutions were also out of there. And I thought was really interesting, it was able to use Espeon's power of premonition, which it wasn't really an attack. It was more of like, I guess, something akin to an ability. Like it was able to, I don't know, well, yeah, like copy its like ability in the game. And I know that the anime doesn't play by any of the same rules that any other Pokemon stuff does, and it's significantly more free. But I still thought that this was interesting, that it went beyond their original explanation of being able to use copycat, and it was like using an entire skill set instead of just one attack. So they've been, and that's just, they've been going through all of them and eliminating the possibility that this Eevee is going to evolve into it. And usually whenever Chloe is on the show, and Eevee is there too, it has to do with Eevee meeting one of these evolutions. And so they've been going through those, you know, relatively often. Every so often they'll meet a new one, and it's like, oh, we want to evolve in this one? No, I don't want to evolve in that one. I'm a strange Eevee that may be building to some big plot hook. And most recently in the show, the Eevee and Chloe, they met Lana from the Gen 7 anime, and Lana has I did not watch Gen 7 anime. I found this today while researching for the ups and downs of this. Lana has an Eevee that does not evolve either, but it is based on the Let's Go Pikachu Eevee. Has a hairstyle, it's got like little bangs, and people think that's what it's supposed to be reminiscent of. And Lana mentions on this episode that there's a chance that, you know, what if your Eevee is like the Eevee path, like mine is, like, oh, it doesn't evolve, like have you considered the Eevee route, you know, the final one where it just stays Eevee, and that's awesome. So that's some evidence against it, I would say. And because what it would do then is the assumption, you know, it's the Galar anime. They did a Darkest Day arc where the Pikachu got the G-Max, and the equivalent for the Pikachu G-Maxing, of course, was Eevee G-Maxing, which I think in some way, shape, or form you could consider an evolution, because it's like slightly different. I do kind of like the way that big Pikachu and big Eevee look, as silly as it is. They're still alright. They're passable. It's better than Long Cat Meowth. So it could be G-Max Eevee, and something that we already have. I'd still consider that an evolution, but it's not a new one. However, despite this, the Darkest Day arc that I mentioned it's long gone. That plot arc, you know, that series of episodes is long gone. Pikachu got the G-Max powers through the Darkest Day means, and that's totally done with. Eevee was not involved. Eevee was introduced after the Darkest Day, which I think is a point. I'm considering that as a point in favor of this Eevee not being a G-Max Eevee. It still could. G-Max Eevee has not appeared on the show. However, time is running out. We'll just have to see on that front. So, could be building towards new Eeveelution. Could be G-Max Eevee. Could be the 8th Eevee where it just doesn't evolve, like Lana said. All of these seem realistic, and so that's the connection there with the anime. And Pokemon has only once that I'm gonna the one piece of I don't know connected story, not evidence. I don't know. It's not a game theory, but when Sylveon was introduced. And the timeline here is, this is Pokemon X and Y, and they had a new type that went along with it. I feel like getting a new type is a little ambitious at this point, but it's not totally out of the picture. But Pokemon X and Y is announced in January 2013, and then Sylveon is shown to the world in February. And they don't show its typing, they just show its ribbons. I remember a common sentiment that it was going to be a flying type, because it was like, oh, Sylph. That's, you know, kind of, you know, there's some flight involved there. It's got, like, the flight ribbons. It looks kind of like Skyla. It's going to be a flying type. And then Fairy type was introduced a little bit down the line. However, Sylveon also got its first, like, appearance. It got an anime special. It's one of the Pikachu shorts in one of the movies. So they didn't involve an anime material in it, although it was originally shown in the games, and it was shown in February, only a month after the games were originally announced, which we have already passed for Scarlet and Violet. But you know, that was almost 10 years ago now. So certainly things have changed. They do things different every time, but that was the most recent Eeveelution reveal, which was also coincided with the new type, which is something I think that they could be holding on to, but I don't think it's that likely. So, intersecting this with the content of the second trailer that just came out, and the first trailer that came out, because I think that the second trailer adds some intel to the first trailer that should be considered as well. And clearly there are, the professors are future and past, and the new dragons, they're future and past. There's a whole time thing going on, and a lot of the architecture looks like it's almost like modern architecture just blended together with historical architecture. Like the buildings are totally intersected in their styles, and it's not clear if these things are version exclusives. One thing that I did notice specifically was that the castle with the big Pokeball dome inside of it that looks like it's made out of like glass plates, that was present in both pictures. So the castle, in a historic looking castle with a modern fixture inside of it, was present in the shot and the trailer that had the line down the middle of it where it might have been like a version exclusive thing. So there's this history, past, timelines intersecting thing going on in these trailers. The clearly time is a factor. I'm not saying that we're gonna get a time type, but this, I don't know, long shot, but that could be something that they're building towards, or machine or type or something. But the theme that I see across all of the theming for both of them, even with the historical stuff in mind, is machines. And the past dragon is still based on a bike. It's based on a machine, and the new dragon, obviously more reminiscent of a machine with its like 8-bit eyes, the Daft Punk helmet going on, and it's like jet booster legs, much more emblematic of machine. But the bike is still mechanical. The things are still machine based. And so I thinking about this and looking at the first trailer after the second trailer came out. After that, it shows the security guard walking through in the first trailer, and the security guard is in a very modern building, and he opens a door with a bright thing behind it, and inside is a bunch of old stuff mixed in with some very modern looking light fixtures and some other things. And there's like a chemistry lab inside of this thing. So it's even though the past one, the bike one, that's not the jet one, the one of the ride-on Pokemon is like old, and it looks like a dinosaur. And Professor Sada is like wearing like ancient attire almost. She's still a researcher. That dinosaur is still a bike, and this is still machinations going on here. So there's a common theme of mechanics, common theme of machinery, of tech, just in general, historical tech versus modern tech, and that seems to be the commonality between it. And then in that first trailer, they draw specific attention to a clock spinning, like a time thing going on. Ooh, some time issue going on, and there's a time intersecting machinery with being the common theme. Could be, I don't know. It could be a variety of things. It seems with 3 generations being missed for an Eeveelution, it seemed rather opportune with all that. I mean, my idea would be like a machine Eevee, but I think there's a handful of ways that this could go. It could also be multiple Eevees with one for each thing, like a dragon Eevee and a steel Eevee, one of them being historic and one of them being modern, or even like a rock Eevee and a steel Eevee. One of them being old, like diamonds or gems or something, and the other one being new, like modern machinery, where it's like wearing like plate mail or something. And so with these themes, tying back into the relation to the anime, Chloe and everything about her. She grew up in a laboratory, and her father is a professor that was made for the anime. His name is Professor Cerise, and she has been around a laboratory her entire life. And I think it would be almost fitting for her if she finally came into form and her partner was like a machine creature, and like that arc was entirely wrapped for her, where she comes to terms with her father and her family's like choice of thing, and she's like, I'm totally cool with Pokemon, and you know, even like become like a research or something. A lot of this is all, I mean, of course this is all conjecture. I'm just talking right now. These are just ideas, but I think that there is a lot. Just as much as there is a lot for, there is plenty against getting a new Eevee as well, because the timeline is just off. I mean, we're relatively close to these games coming out already. This is June when I'm recording this. We just started this in just the start of June, and Sylveon and the subsequent Fairy type were I think the fairy type was originally revealed around E3. It might have been an E3 reveal. At least I remember watching that E3 and seeing Fairy type dropped. It might have been leaked or like told quietly before then. But the big Fairy type announcement was in June before. So what is that? That was 4 months before X and Y came out, and that was in 2013. So still, you know, 9-10 years ago. But that was significantly earlier than it is now, and Sylveon was announced in February as a new Pokemon, so 8 months before it came out. So we were coming close to these games, and a mic drop, huge, like, get people super hyped for the games moment like that, you know, it may have already passed. It may already be gone, and the connection to the anime, it may be, you know, that may be totally far-fetched. It could just be like a power of, you know, like it could be just like about identity and like knowing yourself. And the Eevee could just not, it could not evolve. It could also feel like it would be the most disappointing thing to be a G-Max Eevee, and I would not love that. Please don't let it be a G-Max Eevee. Maybe let it have a destiny, just maybe a little bit greater than that. But if they use the anime in the end, with the series wrapping up to promote the next title through a new evolution, where it's like, oh my gosh, never before seen creature that Chloe has, like, that would be interesting. At least I think that would be pretty incredible. And you know, because the current Pokemon anime is Ash trying to be the best trainer in the whole world, and then Go, who wants to see every Pokemon, and you know, when better wrench for a wanting to see every Pokemon arc than a new Pokemon showing up suddenly, and it's a new or multiple Eevees. It would be exciting, and I'm hopeful. You know, Eevees are cool, but I wanted to present both the arguments for it and against it, and a lot of the stuff with the trailer could be, you know, it's obviously it doesn't have to do anything at all with Eevee. Eevee might not even be in the game, even though I find that incredibly unlikely. Eevee might even be up there with the like longevity of Charizard and Pikachu at this point. So it's probably a given that Eevee is in the game, but it might not even get a focus, kind of like, I don't know, like Gen 5, right? Like Eevee is incredibly popular, but it's not in the main decks, and then it's difficult to catch. And then in Black 2 and White 2, you can get it in this one place in this one town. So, but I don't think that's very likely either, because of Let's Go Eevee's success. Eevee is officially a box art Pokemon, and this could be something that they've been building to for a while. Would be a new evolution. Eevee is reaching, you know, Charizard and Pikachu levels of popularity, so hopefully we get something. But there's plenty there that could be pointing towards other stuff. There's all sorts of theories and details and conjecture about the new trailers. Go watch those videos. This video specifically about Eevee. See, I got Eevee on my mind. We're just here to talk about Eevee. So, and I don't know. It really might be too late, honestly. I mean, of course we're gonna get more trailers and more information, and I'm gonna try to resist looking at that stuff, because it, you know, discovering it while playing it usually makes it better for me. But I feel pretty, you know, passionately about this one. I would be pretty excited if a new Eevee or multiple Eevees comes out. But I guess that wouldn't be the end of the world either way. The trailers look really cool. They're clearly adding a lot of fun stuff that they're drip feeding the fans right now. The only other thing that I would like to mention, and I think it's even the most harebrained of it all, is the weird last few seconds of the second trailer, which is clearly a teaser for something, might seem really, really obvious when it actually drops. It's this like steel looking, like kind of like gem pattern that's like a reflection and a Pokeball flies by. Could be a reference to whatever the next gimmick of it is, but I still thought it worth mentioning because it was totally without any sort of context at all. And yeah, it could be anything. I don't know, steel type Eevee, even. Ooh, but it's, you know, it's probably the Pokeball flying by. I think it has to do with one of the new gimmicks of the game, but that pattern doesn't really mean much. So I don't know. It's an exciting time. The theories are flying. It's really just the childlike wonderment of it all. You know, like just imagining what could be in the Pokemon games. Which I think is almost as fun as actually like having it right in front of you. You know, because it's like limitless possibilities. What are they gonna give us? What's gonna happen? I hope you're all as excited for it as I am. And I don't know. I can't imagine anybody not wanting a new Eevee. But if you do want a new Eevee, I don't know. Tell me which type you want, because I always think that's fun. I've gotten Ghost, Poison. I think, and would also prefer Steel. I think Dragon, Rock, or Secondary. But any of those, there's a lot of good designs out there. And if you already haven't, give this video a like and slam that MF and subscribe button. I'll see you next time, gamers.